This is directly from the Chicago Tribune. Muslim congressmen caught working with terrorist front groups. Indiana Democrat Andre Carson took part in a major Islamic convention in Chicago this past weekend, which was held by the Muslim American Society, MAS, and the Islamic Circle of North America. These groups are nothing more than fronts for the Muslim Brotherhood. This is no secret and has even been exposed in the mainstream media. Still, these groups are permitted to continue functioning because the Muslim Brotherhood has infiltrated the highest branches of our government. But one doesn't even have to be a Muslim to cater to these terrorist front groups. Former President Jimmy Carter was the keynote speaker for the Islamic Society of North America, ISNA, convention in Detroit earlier this year. The Department of Justice implicated ISNA in a scheme to illegally pass $12 million to Hamas, meaning that Carter broke the law by supporting Hamas. Now, Representative Carson openly shows up and supports Muslim fundraising events to help them instill Sharia law here in the United States. Here's directly from the Conservative Tribune. Carson was a featured guest in a panel discussion, The Events in Ferguson and Beyond. He was joined on that panel by a man named Mazen Mokhtar, who is known for operating an Al-Qaeda website and fundraising for the Taliban. It is presumed that Carson knew who Mokhtar is, and it is certain that the FBI knows who Mokhtar is, as he was named in a 2004 federal investigation of a UK-based Al-Qaeda website that raised money for the Taliban, amongst other terrorist organizations. Mokhtar stands accused of operating a US-based mirror website of the one in the UK, according to PJ Media. As per the Washington Post, Mazen Mokhtar, an Egyptian-born imam and political activist, operated a website identified in an affidavit unsealed Friday by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Connecticut. The website solicited funds for the Taliban and Chechen Mujahideen, according to the affidavit. It is an exact replica of websites operated by Babar Ahmad, who was arrested in England on a U.S. extradition warrant this week. A CNN report further explained law enforcement sources identified the man as Mazen Mokhtar, 36, of New Brunswick, New Jersey. Those sources said Mokhtar is the specific individual who resides in the United States, referred to in an affidavit as working with Babar Ahmad to solicit funds for the blocked organizations in an effort to support their goals. Somewhat predictably, once Mokhtar was named in the affidavit, he was embraced even tighter and promoted by the Islamic community. Mokhtar currently serves as the executive director of the MAS, Muslim American Society, a group described by federal prosecutors in federal court in 2007 as founded as the overt arm of the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States. So a sitting U.S. congressman is hanging out with and working with a frontman for terrorist organizations who is known for giving and support to same said terrorist organizations. Perhaps when Congress gets around to taking up and passing a measure naming the Muslim Brotherhood an official terrorist organization, then people will take such actions, such as Representative Carson's, for what they are and not overlook or sweep them under the rug. According to the Chicago Tribune, some wanted the Brotherhood to remain underground, while others thought a more public face would make the group more influential. Members from across the country drove to regional meeting sites to discuss the issue. Former member Mustafa Saeed recalls how he gathered with 40 others at a Days Inn in the Alabama-Tennessee border. Many members, he says, preferred secrecy, particularly in case U.S. authorities cracked down on Hamas, supporters, including many Brotherhood members. Quote, they were looking at doomsday scenarios, he said. When the leaders voted, it was decided that Brotherhood members would call themselves the Muslim American Society, or MAS, according to documents and interviews. Now, I know that I said 90% of Muslims are peasants, farmers, everyday people, common people. It is these 10% that go the extra mile, that go out of their way to do all of these things. Now, why am I talking about this congressman? Because this congressman has just been named by Pelosi to the House Intelligence Committee. Cue the dramatic music. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.